Aston Villa's pre-season tour is 2/3 done in Australia, so it will be time to retire that intro music soon. You'll be glad to hear, Ash. I'm sure it'll be a sad
Getting
day
used to
for
it
me
now.
when we have to
We
get
should
rid
have
of
it
that.
throughout the season.
It's a bop, isn't it? It's a
Really
nice
do.
little vibe at the start of the podcast. I enjoy it. Aston Villa won.
If Villa keep winning, Dan, can we have it till in
Good point.
Bournemouth, Everton? Can we have it then as well?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, fair enough. Right, we'll keep the intro until Villa lose the game. Let's put it that way. Aston Villa 1-0 against Brisbane this afternoon. That's now 3 wins in pre-season: Warsaw, Leeds, and Brisbane. 6 goals scored, 0 goals conceded. Not a bad start to pre-season, is it? That?
No, yeah, pretty solid, really. Yeah, clean sheets at the back of welcome as well. Villa were coasting through that first half, really. A couple of scares. Matty Cash being caught out of position at once, but yeah. Gerard was pleased with the second half more. I think we all were, those that watched it. It's quite a strong lineup. We spoke pre-kick-off, didn't we, Dan? It's quite a strong lineup, but the youngsters, they forced the issue more. I've just spoken to Cameron Archer down there, and he said the gaffer wanted us to play with a bit more urgency, a bit more aggressive, and they certainly did that in the second half. So the young boys, they're keeping the senior lads on their toes, and yeah, brilliant. But Archer in the goals again. Kane Kessler-Hayden was the pick for me, though. Incredible. Down that right side. And, yeah, the young lads really shone tonight, so credit to them.
To be fair to the first half team, I think given a swift maybe telling off from Gerard at half time to pick up the intensity, I think they would probably have been better second half as well, to be fair to those. Because that was a stronger 11 in the first half, so maybe a bit of a rocket up their backsides at half time would have sorted that out. But second half was a bit more had a bit more intensity. I thought Buendia looked good in place of Coutinho, essentially created more, seemed to get on the ball a little bit more. Yeah, obviously a game of 2 halves, quite literally with the 2 different sides. Let's focus on the first half. First of all, bit of a drab kind of performance, really, in terms of Brisbane Roar sitting quite deep and Villa having to break them down and have a lot of possession, and again, kind of struggling to do that. Not really many chances of note to speak of until pretty much the last 5 minutes or so, where I think Danny Ings tries a little dink from kind of a tight-ish angle, which is saved onto the post, I think it was. And then a goalmouth scramble just before half-time, where I'm thinking, how have we not scored from there? Diego Carlos involved. I think Chambers had a shot as well. And that was pretty much all she wrote for the first half, and disappointing not to see any of the big hitters on the score sheet in that first half. But, you know, like we said earlier, it's all about fitness at this point, and everyone, as far as I know, got through that first half without any injuries, and that's pretty much all you take from it, really.
You do, yeah, you do. Diego Carlos was good. Callum Chambers was good going forward.
Chambers was good, yeah.
So good. His distribution is so good. So he played well. But yeah, the final third didn't really hit it off. Really, Coutinho playing a bit deeper. I mean, Ings was a bit isolated as well, and they changed it up second half. But yeah, the young lads really shone. And Kane Kessler-Hayden was very good. Yeah, I keep saying his name because he was anything Villa were doing going forward. He was there down that right side, cutting balls into the box. And then Archer was there to score. So, yeah, going for the motions in the first half a little bit. Found it a little bit too easy. And then the second half, after a bit of a rollicking, and Gerard said, then the young lads are really fighting now to stake their claim. He said, if you ask him now, I think Cameron Archer stays around the group. He's forcing the issue, isn't he?
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Yeah, Gerard was really complimentary of Ulrich Brunham as well, who come on and said leadership. So, yeah. Plenty to ponder going into Perth. I'm there tomorrow, aren't I? In the weekend. But overall, the young lads shine. And yeah, Gerard also on transfers as well. He said a few haven't done enough in pre-season, so there'll be some exits on the horizon to go out and play some game time. So he's been quite ruthless in that respect. He said players who aren't playing, they're going to play here. Simple as that. So yeah, he'll fine-tune his squad once the tour's over. I will expect that to ramp up as well. But yeah, Cameron Archer, he said, if you lock me in a room now, he's staying in the door with me. So I think he might be locked in, Cameron. Let you shout, let me out. But no, he's, fantastic. Scored again, back in the goals, and he can't stop scoring.
Yeah, good to see. We'll definitely talk about Archer a little bit later in this. We've got our pre-season preview a week today, actually, where obviously there's more time for discussion there. I don't want to keep you for too long. It is it 20 past 10, 20 past 11, have we decided? Is it 11?
It's 10 past 11 now.
10 past 11, sorry, yeah. So we won't keep you for too long tonight because I know you've got loads of other work to do. So we'll come back to Archer in a little bit. Good to see Ezri Konsa play as well, which we've talked about the other day when he was announced that he was fit and ready for selection, which superhuman kind of body to come back 2 months earlier than expected and to play for the. I thought maybe he might just get 10 minutes. Maybe he played the entire second half. What's our best centre back pairing now? Because Diego Carlos looks good. Konsa's back and fit, ready to go. Mings is still captain. Chambers looking good.
It's great depth there, isn't there? All four of them. Really good. I don't think you make any qualms either two starting. I can take your pick, I think, at the moment. Konsa might need a bit of easing in, but tonight Konsa was full of it tonight. He was barking orders. He told Buendia off. Quite funny. Buendia obviously got on the ball a bit too much. He's too busy, Buendia. He's a number 10. He should stay hover around that 18-yard box. Probably wasn't score enough goals for me, Dan Buendia. He tries to do too much. So tonight he was on the left wing, and Konsa went, Emme, come here, central, play central. So that was quite funny. So yeah, Ezri's back amongst it. And Diego Carlos was strong as well. Good distribution from him as well. Short, long, he can do it all as well. And usual Tara Mings display. Just barging a player on the floor. We like to see that. And yeah, Callum Chambers good. So the centre-backs is pretty positive from tonight as well. And it'd be interesting who starts against Man U on Saturday.
In terms of the other end of the pitch up front, I'd done a few notes for this for like talking points. And I got worried about the lack of goals, which was at 0-0. It's still only 2 goals in Australia from Ings from the penalty spot and Archer today. Pre-match we're saying, Aston Villa to win 8-0 today. I know that's tongue in cheek, but Brisbane Roar are a lower level of opposition or probably the lowest level of opposition that Villa will play. How does Brisbane Roar compare to Walsall League 2? I don't know. Either way, it's a lower level of opposition than Leeds and Man United, and then Stade Rennais next week. So for Villa to have only scored 2 goals so far, I thought is maybe a slight concern. And at one point, I was questioning whether the gravity was different down under, with every single shot from both sides seemed to fly over the crossbar. So what do you make of the strikers? Obviously, Watkins yet to score. Ings has got 1. Archer's got 1. Are you worried slightly about a lack of goals?
I mean, tonight there's a lot of blocks, a lot of bodies on the line from Brisbane Roar. Gerard said they defended quite well, in fairness to them. They sat deep. Interesting, Cameron Archer said down there, he's feeling a bit of jet lag still as well. I think the players are quite tired. They had a session here earlier at 11 a.m. and they're playing again on the evening. So they're doing a lot of double sessions. They're playing while they're tired, which will help them fitness-wise. And I think that's the case, really. Lacking that little bit of clinical edge. I think tired minds, perhaps in the final third. They're doing things they shouldn't really do. Maybe it's that, but I'm not too concerned. It's pre-season. Get all the issues out of the way. Miss all your chances as you can. But yeah, a lot of blocks tonight. A lot of good defending from Brisbane, who sat back. And yeah, we got the goal in the end. Weren't really any more clear-cut chances, really, was there? I'm trying to think. The keeper didn't have too much to do. The keeper saved one with his face, didn't he? Was it Douglas Suizi's ball in? And then Archer on the end of that one. Yeah. But yeah, there weren't really too many chances, really. But I think they're playing quite tired. I think the time zones affected them as well, adjusting. And it's on to Perth Saturday against Man U, which would be another toughie. It'll be a real workout against them as well. And then it's back on the plane again. Bit of a long trip back at Bodymore and then back to Rennes. And then the season starts. So, yeah, the squad will be shaping up between now and then, personnel-wise. But yeah, good workout. Great facilities here, by the way. The sports stadiums here, the sports stuff, it's really good. And they've had a good workout from it. They really have.
Yeah, I'm not really that bothered with pre-season, to be honest. I said at the start of this, it's 6 goals scored and 0 goals conceded. If we finish pre-season, Man United and the European fixture, 6 goals scored, 6 goals conceded, and we lost them both 3-0, but win Bournemouth on the opening day, I'd be happy with that, because the Bournemouth game is king. I want to win the Premier League games. Yeah. So as long as they're fit and ready and we don't get any serious injuries, pre-season is a win regardless of results, really. So I don't think that it doesn't bother me that much. I'm slightly concerned. There's a comment here from Michael in the comments about jet lag on the way back, which we talked about a few days ago. Coming back Sunday night, Monday, and then having to play again in France the following weekend. They've got time to get ready, but it's a slight concern going all that way and how that will affect their bodies on the way back. But yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. Augustinsson made his debut, played 35 minutes, subbed on at half time, then subbed off about 80 minutes, 85. He was blowing when he came off. Probably just getting up to speed a little bit. What did you make of his first appearance in Carter Blue?
Yeah, steady Eddie. Yeah, he's not as dynamic as Dina going forward. He's very technical, good passer of the ball, a good way to pass on him. Not too quick either, but he's quite tall. He's a bit of a presence for a left back. And yeah, steady Eddie, nice left foot on him. Very technical player. And I think he'll slot in nicely as an understudy. Experienced as well, Dan. You can't buy that experience. He's had nearly 50 caps for Sweden, playing the high pressure games for them. Been to Sevilla, Werder Bremen, played at some big clubs. So yeah, loan deal, no brainer, and then option to buy for a few million quid. It's good depth.
So you can buy that experience then for a couple of million quid.
Yeah. A couple of million quid, you buy it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm being pedantic. Gerrard's presser. The big lines to come out from that. Then you just spoke to him for the second time. Somebody's moving a wheelie bin outside, by the way. If you can hear any noise, apologies. The biggest line about it, you've already mentioned, I think, anyway, from Cameron Archer, that if the decision had to be made right now, if he was forced into it, he would keep him around the squad. We'll come back to Archer in a sec. What else did Gerrard say in the presser?
Yeah, it was the same. He made a way for praising Tim Oreg-Brunham as well. He really impressed him tonight. At the end as well, the players going over. Gerrard had his arm around Tim. I think he's mentoring him, shall we say. He's got a lot of time for Tim. He's always with him. And there was loads of clubs queuing up for Tim, Dan, in the Championship. So, but yeah, he said that's the same case with Tim Oreg-Brunham as well. Loads to come out of it, really. We just about the transfer window. I think we'll see a few more leave, Dan, before some come in. He's keeping his eyes open to the market itself. He didn't specify positions. But by the sounds of it, I think a few more head out first. He said the squad's bloated still. He said that the other day as well. So I think he wants to trim the fat. He'll have a good 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks from here. He'd have seen a lot about them, what they're about, and then he'll trim the fat then. And then after that, I think he said he'll speak to the people he needs to speak to, i.e. Perslow, Johan Langer, and then we'll move from there. But yeah, at the moment, I think he's got his eyes open. The market's there if he wants to use it, but I think once he's back from Australia, we'll start to see the balls rolling.
Gilbert, Keenan Davis and Morgan Sanson not involved there tonight. Is that transfer-related stuff or is that injuries or what?
Keenan Davis is injured. Yeah, Gerrard said he's injured. They're taking a precaution with him. He trained here yesterday, Keenan, and he trained away from the group, as I mentioned. So he's injured. Morgan Sanson, Frederick Gilbert, not on the team sheet. And that was just no problems with them. Just not their turn. So read into that what you will, mate. Yeah, interesting, that one.
Was that the line? It was not their turn.
Not their turn. And yeah, but before that, he did mention players will be moved on to get some game time elsewhere because they're getting game time here. That's what he said.
I'm not sure what I read. I'm not sure what I read into that, to be honest. Not their time. No. If it's somebody that you want to keep around the squad, then pre-season is the time to show them around.
Not their turn.
Not their turn. Sorry. Yeah. If you want to keep someone around the squad, then they're going to get their turn. They'll get their run out here and there. So I suppose if they play against Man United, this kind of speculation goes away. If they don't feature against Man United, then not their turn to me means won't be involved. But
there you go. That remains on the Man U team sheet, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. We all know they've got to get rid of players anyway, and if players aren't getting minutes here in pre-season, which is the time to get minutes, then it doesn't take much to put 2 and 2 together, and maybe we are coming out with 5 rather than 4. But you'd suggest people who aren't being played in pre-season will leave at some point, whether it's a loan or permanent. It's not rocket science, isn't it?
No.
I think that's pretty much it, really. What about Coutinho and Buendia and the two systems? I suppose let's just talk about that a little bit. The 4-2-3-1 in the first half, I suppose it wasn't it? 4-2-3-1 with Bailey and Traore, and then more of a 4-3-1-2 in the second half with Watkins and Arch playing together and Buendia behind them. What did you make of the two systems and the kind of key points from both of those?
Yeah, quite like Coutinho as a night. Bit of quality in there. He skipped past a few players.
Would he play there in the league though?
No, I don't think he would.
Ramsey and Coutinho as a 3. That feels a bit lightweight.
I don't think he would because it's lightweight. Yeah, Coutinho's a bit lightweight coming up against your Basumas and people like that. Do you know what I mean? I think he might struggle for an impact there. Whereas as a 10 or on the left, he might get a bit more of the ball, or he's in good areas to do his magic. Do you know what I mean? So But yeah, Coutinho's been a bit of a plus so far for me and Preece. I thought he played well against Leeds. Tonight he did okay in that position. Funny, he played in training last night, so it's something Gerard's looking at. Gerard as Coutinho as a number 8. I said Gerard as a number 8, then that'll be something. But Buendia, I think he's just a bit too busy. He tries to do a bit too much. Bless him. Do you know what I mean?
I thought he looked all right.
He buzzes around. He wants the ball. He's hungry. He wants to make things happen. But I think if he just takes a step back, do you know what I mean, and just sees what's in front of him and get on the ball in better areas around the box, I think he'll start to add more goals to his game, Buendia. But yeah, you can't fault him. Work rate, tenacious, wants to get on the ball, wants to do something, wants to hurt the opposition, but yeah, do it in the better areas for me, Buendia.
Like I said, we will discuss Cameron Archer and the squad in more depth next week because there's still a lot of time to go. What did you make of it though, Gerard, saying if you had to lock me in a room now, I'd keep him? What would you do if you were in charge? Because I saw Pat tweet earlier saying he scored another goal. He's really making a chance here to be Aston Villa's third striker. And there'll be some people that will argue that he could be Aston Villa's second or first choice striker, to be honest, and playing minutes in the Premier League. But how different is it to be playing minutes in pre-season against lower league opposition and scoring goals and doing well, to be fair, but then having to lead the line 38 times in the Premier League next season? Or is it that he's involved as third choice and he still gets minutes, or second choice in a two-man strike partnership, or is alone next season again to the Championship and scoring 20 goals a more viable option in terms of his development?
I've just spoken to Cameron and he says, I'm confident at the moment. It's momentum. Momentum's massive for me, he said. I said, what do you keep scoring for? You got any superstitions? What is it with? And he said, just confidence, momentum. I feel really part of this group now. As opposed to a youngster who's making the way in the game. He feels really part of the group and he's speaking more confident in himself. So, yeah, it's rolling for him and long may that continue. And tonight, all the chances fell to him. He was in the right places. I know Ollie Watkins scuffed that one before we scored, but Archer could have had a hat-trick tonight. When I tweeted, I said, Archer is human after all, after missing that one. And then about 2 minutes later, he scored. Scored, yeah, typical. So, but yeah, he's doing all the right things. He's full of confidence. Momentum's rolling, and strikers are scoring. You keep them around, don't you? You play them.
Yeah,
that's what happens. He carries on. So yeah, I'll keep him around, mate, 100%. And like you say, he's pushing Ings and Watkins now. I think that's what Gerard hinted at in there. Some of the young lads are pushing the senior boys, and I think Archer's one of them. Yeah,
I agree with that. I think that's absolutely fine. If the transfer window closed tomorrow and you were left with Ings, Watkins and Archer as a 3, I think that is a good 3, especially if you're only playing 1 up front and you've got the option to play 2 up front as well. You've then got 2 into 3, and if they're all fighting on each other's back to be the main man, that's obviously only good for Aston Villa. I think if Villa sign a striker, which would maybe come a little bit out of left field, then I don't think Archer is going to get much development being 4th choice behind Ings, Watkins and somebody else. So then a Championship loan would make sense. But, like I said, if the transfer window ended tomorrow, God, get my words out, I'd be happy with Archer staying around because he will get minutes, and part of me kind of feels like he will score goals. I know it's a different level, but when you're in the box, it doesn't really matter whether you're playing Man United or Brisbane Roar, surely. If you're in that kind of isolated moment where you've only got to strike the ball cleanly and get it on target to score, surely the level of opposition doesn't matter that much if you're already in the position. So I think Archer would score goals if he does get minutes, but we'll kind of wait and see how the rest of the transfer window goes, and Steven Gerrard and his coaching team are the guys to make the decision, and whatever they decide, seeing him up close and personal every single day, their decision is king, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah, totally. So yeah, it's down to them. Cameron seems happy in himself, and yeah, he's in a good place, Dan. No, nothing more to it, really. He's in a good place, and long may it continue.
You told me in the Facebook earlier, but we're doing this on YouTube and Twitter now, about the guy that you spoke to earlier who listens to our podcast out in the Outback. So I want you to retell that story in a sec. Just branching off of that, though, now you've been out there for, what is it, a week maybe, almost, six days, something like that.
Week Thursday, yeah.
So a week tomorrow here. You had a couple of games over there now. You've met a lot of fans. You've seen a lot of different things. You've had a lot of different experiences. You've seen your bin chicken. Are you now being over there realising how big, we know anyway, but realising how big Aston Villa are worldwide with what the fan base has been like over there?
Yeah, it's huge, Dan, like you say. I mean, I'm getting people come up to me, post for photos with me. I can't get my head around that. So many people have come for photos with me. Ash. And for me, being a Villa fan, growing up, it's just crazy. I still can't get my head around it. And I'm just doing this as my job. But the effects we have on people, Dan, this Cloudberry podcast, I mean, people are listening to it in the Outback, which is hardly anyone who lives around there, and they're listening to us because they want to feel closer to home. They love the channel. And yeah, I mean, we just sit in our rooms, talk about the Villa for 25 minutes, half an hour, and yeah, they can't get enough of it. So we're really humbled, and like you say, very emotional the other day I was, and I've been in Townsville today, lots of people coming up to me, love the channel, brilliant, it makes everything for us, it makes me feel closer to home, despite being 10,000 miles away. So the effect we have on people's lives, Dan, has really struck home with me, and it's something like really I'll take away from this trip, I really will. I've got an effect on people, and I help them enjoy their lives a little bit better listening to the Villa and that. So it's been crazy, and like you say, I'm one of you lot. I'm Villa fan who went down the Villa when I was little, did a bit of writing. I'm in Australia now, pinching myself every day.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy, just how far we've come. And the channel, like I say, Dan, you've done a brilliant job hosting. I'll be a terrible host. I tried to do it before, and I was like, let's talk about Sanson, let's do this, let's do that. But you keep it
I think I'm a terrible host.
No, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. I can't do it. And yeah, the channel's massive over here, Dan. So good work for yourself. And yeah, the Aussie villains are brilliant. So friendly, so laid back. Love the Villa, love the club, and yeah, even they set their alarms at stupid o'clock like we all did the other day. Yeah. Not me, but those back home. They're doing that week in, week out, giving the rubbish kick-off times over there. So yeah, the Aussie villains. I've got my bag here. I've got the Melbourne Lions badge on me. I've even got New Zealand Lion badge on my bag. So yeah, I think I might move out here and start the I don't know, might join the Adelaide Lions or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, lights have gone off. Is that your cue to leave?
I think so. Yeah, I'm always last in the stadiums, guys, as well. I'm always locked in. You just see me last year. I was walking around the Emirates underneath for about an hour. So that's dedication to the cause. I'm always last in.
Do you need to just get up and walk around to get the lights to come back on again?
Let's have a look. I think that's my cue. Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go. Okay, just one final question. now the lights have just come back on. Just a spin off on what we were just talking about there on the size of the club. Obviously, this is the first time that Gerrard and the coaching staff and the players have all had any proper kind of team bonding together. Living with each other week in, week out for this pre-season little bubble time. Will they also realise, maybe some of the players now, how big Aston Villa is? And I mean, people should really know this anyway and be educated on it, but actually being out there and seeing what the reaction has been like from people that have either moved to Australia years ago or lived there and have been born there and support the club, will they now maybe realise just how big Aston Villa is globally, some of these players that we've signed or have already been here?
Yeah, it's massive commercially for Villa, as we know. Just expanding that Villa footprint, as it were, the blueprint, and really going global with it all. It's important for the big clubs. You see clubs, Man U, Liverpool's, Tottenham's, they all go abroad, don't they? And that's how they get your fan bases. I was in here last night. There was 200, 300 kids here from the local soccer academy. Even I'm calling it soccer now. And they'll go home tonight. They'll be Aston Villa fans. I'll tell the mums and dads to buy all the shirts. And you build it that way as well. So I think we could see maybe an Aston Villa feeder club here as well. Obviously, we've got the Las Vegas Villains that'll come up in the next couple of years, the franchise there. And then, as Purslow explained, I think there's a club in Egypt, Villa, ZFC, Villa are linked with as well in Egypt. And I think they're going to tap into the Australian market. They really are. I could see the club being back here in 2-3 years easy. I think they may go stateside next summer, but this is what they're going to do now. Big trips on tour. And hopefully you can come with me, Dan.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. We probably just need to start saving up now, don't we, for that, given how expensive all this travelling is. Yeah. Steve, if you're watching once again, you've got to sort Ash's road out first of all and then save up for next season for me.
Come on.
And I'll come with you. Yeah, I think that's probably it. We're just talking then about the size of the club. There's a few questions about the away kit. We've not heard anything just yet. We've kind of half speculated between us that we're playing Man United in a big pre-season tour. They play in red, we play in claret. There's a chance we might announce an away kit between now and then. Man United have released their away kit down there though, and that's white, so they might play in white, and we might play in the home kit still. So it is just speculation.
You think so, Dan?
I said last time I spoke to you, the big marketing opportunity. If I was in charge of the away kit, I'd be doing it down there probably tomorrow or Friday, and then playing in it on Saturday. But I'm not in charge, so we'll wait and see what happens.
There's an event on Friday in Perth with some first team players. Day before the game, big event on. So yeah, watch your space with that one. I think that could be the big unveil, as it were. Liverpool have done it in Thailand, didn't they? And then you had Man U unzipping their tracksuit tops, and that's it really. There's a few Castore reps over here as well at the moment, just taking everything in, Castore wise and the club wise. So that's interesting as well. But yeah, I envisage playing Man U the weekend, Optus Stadium, and yeah, big showcase of Villa. Maybe the away kit will be out then.
Yeah, as we just said, could be in the home kit against Man United's away kit. we still don't know at this point. What time is the kickoff? A few comments asking. It's the same as this one, 10:45 a.m. in the UK time, and evening kickoff over there in Australia. So same kind of, for those in the UK, same kind of system, lunchtime kind of podcast post-match. Maybe do a team news one before the game as well at kind of 9:30 a.m. it'll be here. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I've got a day off tomorrow, so Ash, I know you're travelling up to Perth, so maybe keep an eye on your social media rather than our brand one. I'm back on Friday, and we'll have a catch up on Friday when you're in Perth, and maybe, like we just said, see what comes of this event, and build up to Man United as well. So Ash, get yourself back to your hotel, get back on your laptop. To be fair, 'cause I know you've got loads of work to do, but get yourself out of that stadium.
11:30. I'm up at 6 for a flight.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. It's a busy time, isn't it?
Imagine me coming home from Australia and saying to the missus, I need a break now. She'd be like, get lost.
Well, we've seen your pictures of you eating steak and that, so you're having a nice time as well. Head in your hands. I love it. Thanks for your time as always. Thanks everyone for tuning in to our post Brisbane Raw chat. We'll catch you all again on Friday for a catch up. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.